Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Eugenie, and I'm doing the research about the U.S. government, and I need to know what people knows about U.S. government. So I really need your consent so that I can ask you some
Yeah.
questions.
I'm Jean Bosco, and I'm ready to answer the question. I mean to answer your question. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Jambo Scott. The first question I have to you: what are the three branches of the government?
Yeah. The three branches of U.S. government are judicial, executive, and legislative.
Thank you so much. The following question: what does each branch do?
Okay. I don't know.
It's okay. The third question: Democrats and Republicans are the major party in the US. So, could you restate or name the third party if you
Yeah.
know it?
I guess the third party is Green Party.
So, the following question, which is the last one: what is the basic process in which, by which a bill becomes a law?
I don't know.
Thank you so much for giving me your time, Jean Bosco.
You're welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
My name is Eugenie. I'm doing a research to know the views people has to U.S. government. So I would like your consent so that I can ask you some questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much. The first question I have to you: what are the three branches of the government?
Thank you very much. The three branches of the government include judicial, um, legislative, and yeah, and executive.
Thank you so much. The following question: what does each branch do?
Actually, I don't have much information, but maybe executive are there to apply, to put in implementation what the other branches have done.
Yeah, the following question is asking: Democrats and Republicans are the major party.
Yeah.
Can you name the third party?
The third party is the minor party. Yeah, it includes many different parties. Yeah,
The following question, which is the last question, is: what is the basic process by which a bill becomes a law?
I don't know.
Thank you so much for giving me your time.
Thank you too.
So previously, firstly, my name is Eugenie Manirafasha. I'm working on my Bachelor of Arts in Communication with concentration in business. Previously, I was asking people what they know about the U.S. government, and now I'm going to correct some questions they responded in a wrong way. The first question was asking about the branches of the government, and the branches of the government is three. There are legislature, executive, and judicial. The second question was asking what does uh, each branch do. So starting on the function of legislative, the legislative makes law and change existing law. Second, the executive enforce law. And the third, judicial interpret and protect the law. So you can understand how those branches are acting or are operating in the US. So the third question: how are the three branches connected to each other? So there are some interaction between those three branches. As you can understand, or as it is known, those like deals or operates along the law. If the legislature if the executive enforce law, judicial comes to interpret and protect the law. So all those branches come around the law. Second, the legislative and executive are working together in some degrees. This is because president has the power of suggest laws and to veto laws he does not like. The executive plays a law in making laws. So third, the judicial branch is interacting with the two other branches because it has power of overturning decision of other branches. So you can understand how those three branches are connected to each other. The fourth question is asking how do they relate to each other. So starting on legislative, it checks on executive by the power of impeachment. So legislative have the power of changing or making or telling other branches in the case when they make some mistake. So in that case, legislative have the power or ability, for instance, or by House and Senate have the responsibility or the ability of judging wrong those remaining branches. So the second, it checks on judicial where the Senate approved federal judges. Also, it has a power of impeachment also, where maybe in the judicial, if one member of judicial make a mistake, the legislative member has the ability to judge wrong those that specific member of judicial. So also legislative, it checks on itself, where the bills must be passed by both house of Congress. So in that case, you can know or you can see how the legislature checks on themselves. So the following question was asking how the two-party system started. So the two-party system they are talking here is Democrats and Republicans. So in this case, previously in America, there were no political party. But in 1787, political party called the Federalist has been created by Hamilton and his group, and it was the first party existed in the America. In 1797, the anti-federalist, which was around Jefferson, and it was called Democratic Republicans. In 1828, Andre Jackson, after being elected as a president, he changed the name of Democrat Republicans to Democrats. So in 1854, anti-slavery forces and free soil forces formed the Republican Party, and they ran their first presidential candidate, John, in 1856. So another question was asking what impact do third party have on national politics. So in modern election in the United States, there are two parties that are dominated. Other in the election. Those are Democrats and Republican, as I came to say. Not only those two parties, but also there is a third party. The example of the third party include the Libertarian Party, Green Party, and the Constitutional Party. So how does this party if affect the votes? So in this, the minor party affect the national election result by taking away their votes. So in this case, they raise issues into the community, and in the time when they fail to overcome that issues, they miss some votes of the community. Second, they don't have much resources compared to the major parties. So like these cause them to put away the votes of the major parties. So another thing is the minor party politic spread out the ideology because they do not play to the American middle. In this case, they raise some ideology in the community, and the community deny or decide to do not contribute into the election. So the last question was asking how does the bill becomes a law. So in this case, a bill becomes a law when it is proved by the president after some procedures. In this case, a person may come up with an idea in the society, and it present it to the committee as well as subcommittee, to the Senate and the House representative. So after receiving the idea, they evaluate it and voting it. The conference judged the idea, and when it's approved, the president signs on it. Finally, when the president signs on it, it's where we say that a bill becomes a law. So this was what I was going to talk about the US government in general. Thank you so much.